back with another reaction. You feel, you dig, your heart. Yo, bitch. So, for today's video, I don't know what it's called. It's called Animated Scary Stories. Bitch, I need to go get shanked the Frank the fuck, cause motherfucker, some paranormal shit point, like some shit like that. Bitch, I'm gonna fucking cut your shit. Alright, so without further ado, let me go motherfucking get my shit ready together, you heard? Let me go get my earphones so we can get this shit started. Make sure to like, subscribe, add my social media. Just kidding. So let's get this shit started. I'll be back in a bit. Alright guys, so we back. And then I never seen this shit. Like I seen this shit in like a YouTuber was reacting to this shit, right? So like maybe I was like, I see myself do that shit. So I did that shit, you think? I'm right here, bitch. So before y'all watch this, like this shit, cause the other video almost got 300 views and who liked it? Nobody. So go do that shit, alright? Let's get this shit started. We're gonna start this shit in 3, 2, 1.
I laid poolside, perfecting my tan for the start of school next month. Mom was in the kitchen, cooking her famous fettuccine alfredo, and Dad was on the way home with a movie from Redbox. My life was perfect, but everything was about to change with the arrival of a new neighbor next door. He was a former police officer, probably mid-50s, possessed a firm drill sergeant-like tone, but was very friendly and talkative. Initially, he seemed like a good fit for the neighborhood. He was cordial, always made an effort to wave or say hi, and the presence of someone with a law enforcement background provided a sense of security. But everything began to unravel quickly, and the catalyst seemed to be me. My neighbor took a sudden and keen interest in me. Whenever I went outside, I could feel his eyes examining me. He would always wander over and try to start conversations with me, but as soon as he heard or saw my parents, he would leave. He asked me if I had any social media accounts. When I lied and said no, he asked if he could take a picture of me and proceeded to snap a pic before I could reply.
This is some weird shit.
I felt completely unnerved and frightened about his intentions for me. For all I knew that we could have a murderer or pedophile living a mere feet from our home. I knew I had to delve deeper. So one night, I aimed my telescope at his window, and what I saw only amplified the alarm bells going off in my head. The man was fixated on the picture of me on his phone, and I could even see a small stack of photos on his nightstand, a young girl's image on top. My blood ran cold, as this all but confirmed my fear. He must be a pedophile. The next night, I saw him sneakily rummaging through our trash can. I watched in horror and disbelief as he removed my used tampon, got into his car, and sped off in the night. This was the final straw. I knew that in the morning, I would have to alert my parents and get in contact with the police. And next morning, I awoke to the sound of police sirens and a loud commotion downstairs. I hopped out of bed and saw my parents being taken away in handcuffs. I started screaming and crying as I rushed towards the door, but I was stopped by the neighbor. With a horrified expression, he muttered, "I'm so sorry. Those aren't your real parents. You were kidnapped and missing the past 14 years. DNA test confirmed it."
That's brazy. That's brazy. And done that shit. Okay, damn. I thought this was gonna be scary, but it was actually not. Bitch. Just kidding. So, we're gonna do another one. Fucking YOLO. Alright, let's go. Let's go.
My name is Lanai, and I'm an 18-year-old from New Jersey that is currently living in Ohio. And this experience happened to me a few months ago at my brother's house. My brother Ivan had just moved into this house with his wife and his 10-year-old child. It was my first ever time visiting, since I was working all the time and we was barely home. Anyway, I arrived at my brother's house and got out of my car. As soon as I pulled into the driveway of the place, I started getting an uneasy feeling. The house was a blue 3-story house that was surrounded by 2 other houses, and while I grabbed my purse, I glanced up at the window. I froze.
What the fuck was it?
Because staring back at me from the 2nd floor window was this older man wearing a flannel. His hair was long and was messy, but he was gone within seconds. I brushed this off, figuring maybe Ivan and our other brother Ian was screwing with me. But both Ivan and Ian came out to 1st floor and gave me a hug. I was a bit freaked out over this, but I sucked it up and walked inside with them. Upstairs on the 2nd floor was where my niece Iris and my nephew sleep, and my brother and his wife slept on the 3rd floor. Of course, Iris was excited to see me and wanted me to see her room, so she took me by my hand and ran me upstairs to her room.
She got back.
All I can say, this place was creepy, and it smelled like a rotting corpse of something. The room was cold, and it felt as if time stopped altogether. I suddenly snapped out of this trance I was in, and Iris was showing me her collection of items she got from our grandmother in Korea when we all went together. Iris was paying no attention to me at all, but she kept talking and then said, "Hey auntie, I'll be right back. Stay here, okay?" I agreed, and she left the room. I went over to one of the walls nearest to the window to where I saw the man earlier. On the wall, I noticed something was there. I took a few steps closer, and I saw the name Max carved into the wall. It, strangely enough, was also in what looked like blood or something. I got chills down my spine, and just as this was happening, I heard what sounded like a man say, "You'll never leave, Lanai." And then I was spun around by nothing. There was nobody there. I was alone, and something had what felt like a hand around my neck, choking me. The smell got even worse. It got colder, and suddenly I could no longer breathe. After about another 5 seconds of being choked, I was thrown up against the wall and slammed to the floor. I was crying, and I jumped up, really not giving a shit about what attacked me. But I practically mowed Iris over as I sprinted down the stairs, ran past my very confused brothers. I was shouting as I dashed for my keys and pretty much dived myself into my car. I started it up and looked one more time at the window, and a pair of yellow eyes with the most fucked up Joker-looking smile stared at me. I threw my '67 Chevy into reverse and never looked back. Now, after a few months, I live by myself in a house in Dayton. I think he followed me, because now I see, hear, and sense things. Stuff in my house gets thrown at me and breaks. I can still smell that rotting smell to this every day.
It's done. Just like that? Really? So yeah guys, I don't know where the fuck I was built like that in the video. I was like, and I was like, I don't know, I look like ego head ass bitch. But my mom interrupted me, I don't know why, but the fuck, okay, but yeah, that was it. That was it. Yes, but yeah, make sure y'all like, subscribe if y'all like the video. Just kidding. Well, y'all should go watch all the video. I'll leave it in the description because y'all need to go watch it. Y'all need to go see it. I'll be back with, I'm gonna try to like do pranks. I'm a dumbass. I'm gonna try to do pranks. And I'm gonna try to do vlogs, and I'm gonna try to do more shit. So, yo, like, stay tuned, stay lit with me, Yeah, later. See you on the next video.